Vlad King didn't like whatever was going on here. He had no idea what Niza had planned, but as he and his class stood at the edge of Midoriya's forest, he just had a feeling in his gut that something was up here. "Sensei, you still haven't told us exactly what we're doing here," said Class 1B representative Itsuka Kendo. "Yeah, no offense sir, but you just kinda dragged us into a forest and didn't answer any of our questions on the ride here," Setsuna said, sounding as irritated as she looked. Vlad sighed. "Alright, well now that you're here I guess it's time to tell you what exactly this exercise is." The class looked at him attentively, ready to finally know what was going on. "Your mission is to reach the center of this forest," Vlad explained. There was a small pause, as the class waited for Vlad to continue. He didn't. "Wait, that's it?" Kamakiri asked. "That's all there is to this? Walking through a forest?" "No, there is much more to this than or even I know." Vlad sighed. "All Niza told me was that you have to get to the center of this forest. There's a rather large house there so you'll know when you've reached it. To be fair it's a rather large forest, so it's going to take you a while." "Well, that is rather ominous," Shishida said with a thoughtful expression. "Whatever Niza has planned, we'll take it down." Tetsutestsu shouted with furious determination. "Yeah, we will win." Pony agreed. "Keep that attitude," Vlad told them. "But be cautious, if the look of glee Niza had on his face is any indication, then this won't be easy." "Yes, sensei," shouted the class. XXXXXXXXXXX. "So, how long do you think it'll take us to get to the middle?" Setsuna asked. "I have no idea," Kendo admitted. "Sensei said it's a big forest, so it could take a couple hours." "Yeah well, we better run into something interesting soon, because this fucking boring," Kamakiri complained. Now, patience is key. We've only been walking for 10 minutes. Monoma reminded him. "If you start losing your mind before the real test even starts, then you're no better than mutts like Bakugo Katsuki." Sun rolled his eyes. "Unnecessary comments aside, Monoma's right. Calm your jets. I'm sure we'll encounter some opposition sooner or later." Shishida paused, as suddenly, the class encountered something. Floating in front of them was a seer. "What the hell is that?" Setsuna asked with mild disgust. "I don't know but stay back," Kendo warned her classmates. "We don't know if it's a threat. I say we cut it open and find out," Kamakiri said with a smirk, as he formed two blades on his arms. The seer made some clicking noises, and its orb glowed red a bit. "Ah, creepy." Pony shivered. "What should we do?" Bondo asked fearfully. "Just stay still. No one move," Kendo told her class. Kamakiri groaned with irritation. Nothing happened for a minute, just them waiting and the seer continuing to float there. Until suddenly, they hear something, running through the forest, towards them on all sides. Suddenly, they were surrounded by 10 sabers. "What are these, some kind of saber-toothed tigers?" Kosei asked, panicking slightly at the sight of them. "They're demonic," Ibara commented with disgust, as she got ready for combat. "We're surrounded," Rin pointed out, as he readied his scales. "That orb thing must have called them," Kamakiri said. "Told you we should have sliced it." "Alright, everyone get ready," Kendo told her classmates. "If they attack, then you fight back. Until then, stay in defensive positions. We still don't know how this exercise is supposed to work." Pony aimed her horns, ready to fire at a moment's notice, while Shishida activated his quirk, along with Tetsutestsu. "I'll take this." Monoma touched Tetsutestsu and Juzo, before moving on to touch Kuroiro and Kamakiri. Class 1B got into a defensive position and got ready to fight back when attacked. But the sabers never attacked. Instead just holding their positions, while growling menacingly at them. "They're not moving," Sun pointed out. "I know, but why?" Kendo took a moment to think. "Setsuna, can you get a bird's eye view of what's going on around us?" "Gonna be hard with all these damn trees, but I'll try," Setsuna said, as she split her eyes off her body, and let them fly up into the air. She looked down, and it was in fact hard to see with all the trees in the way, but fortunately, black and white were easy colors to spot against green. Setsuna could see Grim coming towards their position, and lots of them too. Even worse, she looked up briefly and saw that there was a flock of griffins coming towards them as well. "Shit," Setsuna said. "What? What's happening?" Kendo asked. "They're waiting for reinforcements. They've got lots more of these tiger things, and some weird bird things coming from above," Setsuna told her classmates, as her eyes came back down and reconnected with her body. "We need to move. Now." Otherwise, we'll be hopelessly outnumbered and surrounded. Oh shit. Manga said, his head turning into an exclamation point. Alright, everyone charge forward. Don't try to take them on all at once, just run. Kendo ordered, before charging forward. Kendo smacked the 2 sabers that stood in front of her, out of her way, allowing her and the others to run forward. The sabers started running behind them, and they were fast, meaning that they couldn't escape them by just running away. Juzo, slow them down. Kendo ordered. Got it. Juzo took a second to stop, and touched the ground behind them, softening it, and turning it to something mud-like. The sabers sunk into the mud and got stuck, unable to traverse the now soft ground. While this was happening, Setsuna had her eyes separated from her body again, and they were looking down on them to see what was coming up around them. We got 2 more coming up on our sides. Setsuna told her classmates. 1 on our left. 1 on our right. Alright. My turn. Kamakiri shouted as he ran to the right, and Monoma ran to the left, using Kamakiri's quirk to grow blades out of his arms. Rah! 2 sabers jumped out at them from either side. Slice! Monoma and Kamakiri sliced their heads in half, killing them instantly, and causing them to fade away. Alright. With Setsuna watching over us, nothing can surprise us now. Tetsutestsu shouted. Yeah, unless something comes from underground, Setsuna told them. Then, suddenly, a few yards in front of them, about 12 creeps burst out of the ground to block them. You just had to jinx it, didn't you? Kuroiro scowled. I got this, Kendo said, enlarging her hands. No, allow me, Lady Kendo. Shishida said. The well-spoken beast enlarged himself, and ran down on all 4s like an animal, and lead a feral charge towards the creeps. Rah! Shishida knocked all the creeps away like bowling pins with his massive arms, clearing a path. Move out of the way. Kendo smacked aside what remaining creeps were around, which let the class run along without issue. Those bird things are coming, Setsuna said, getting her eyes lower to the ground so they didn't get attacked by the griffins. Kendo looked up and saw 12 griffins coming down at them. Rin, Pony, shoot them out of the sky. Aim the unarmored parts. Rin and Pony aimed upwards and started firing scales and horns at the flying beasts. The attacks pieced the mostly unarmored Grim, and they couldn't hold against the rapid-fire projectiles, dying off and fading away before they could even get close. Setsuna, find us somewhere that's safe. Kendo knew they couldn't run forever, they'd have to take a break sooner or later. Got it. Setsuna said, getting pretty tired herself. XXXXXXXXXXXX. They're doing pretty well, all things considered, Izuku said to Nizu over a video call. Izuku was alone in his office, looking at a seer that would show him Class 1B's progress. He couldn't see everything they did, but he could see enough. I would hope so, the Grimm are only set to capture, not attack yet. It would be very concerning if they couldn't even get past opponents that weren't trying to hurt them. Nizu responded. Although I think it's time we moved on to level 2. Don't you think? I agree, Izuku said before he spoke into the orbs. Increase security level to level 2. XXXXXXXXXXXXX. Eventually, Class B found a small cave to rest in, and everyone sat down to take a small break. I feel like my lungs are gonna explode, Bondo said while trying to catch his breath from all the running. What the hell were those things? Manga asked, his head turning into a question mark. Demons. Demons straight from hell, Ibara said. Normally I'm not with the whole religious thing, but I have to agree with Ibara here, Kosei said. Clearly those are the obstacles Principal Nizu sent to stop us, Kendo said. I feel like I've seen them before, Pony said, making a slight error in her speech. Really? Where? Awase asked. I don't remember. Pony shrugged. Sorry. It's fine, Kendo assured her. For now we need to figure out a plan. I say we stop running and cut him up, Kamakiri said. We killed those things easily enough, let's just kill them all, and get to the middle of the forest. We have absolutely no idea how many there are of those things, Juzo pointed out. Not to mention we don't even know if we've seen every type of, whatever those are. There was that weird orb thing, those tigers, some kind of griffins, and some weird underground dinosaur things. Sun listed. They can attack us at all angles, so whatever we do, we have to do it carefully, Kendo said. Suddenly Kendo was interrupted by a rumbling from above before a boulder slammed down in front of the cave entrance, plunging the cave into complete darkness. They found us, Manga shouted. We're sealed in, Bondo pointed out. Guys, Setsuna said, as she saw yellow eyes from deeper inside the cave, coming towards them. Kia! Suddenly Ravagers swarmed them, attacking them with their claws and teeth. The class all tried to swat them away, but that didn't really do much. No one used their quirk. You might hit someone else, Kendo ordered, as she got scratched and bit up. Then what the hell are we supposed to deal with these things? Kamakiri asked while also getting attacked. Some of her classmates ignored the order. Kuroiro used his quirk and jumped into the wall, staying safe from the Ravagers' attack, same with Tetsutestsu and Monoma. While Yui just tried to use her quirk on whatever she could touch. It didn't affect living creatures, so her classmates were safe. She just needed to shrink the boulder blocking the entrance to the cave. However, as she swung her hands around wildly trying to use her quirk, she noticed something. It was working on whatever was attacking them. That meant that whatever was attacking them, presumably the same kind of things that were attacking them outside, wasn't technically alive, and thus she could use her quirk on them. While this was good to know, it didn't help her much in this situation, given she was fighting a swarm, but she knew who this could help. Yanagi! My quirk works on these things! Yui shouted. What? Yanagi was confused for a second before she realized that if Yui's quirk worked on them, that meant they weren't alive, which means she could use her quirk on them. To test this out, she activated her quirk on the things attacking her, forcing them off of her and suspending them in the air. It worked, and the Ravagers were powerless against her quirk. Still, she would need to know where the rest of them were in order to stop them. My quirk works, but I need more light. Yanagi shouted. I'm trying. Yui was still looking to the exit, and eventually, she saw a sliver of light creaking out, and so Yui ran towards it, and put her hands on the boulder, shrinking it down to about half her size. Light flooded the cave, finally allowing everyone inside to see. Immediately Yanagi used her quirk and stopped all Ravagers that were attacking everyone, and brought them all together into a big ball. Kendo enlarged her hands, brought them on either side of the Ravagers, and clapped with all her might, crushing them all in one fell swoop. After that, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Everyone but Monoma, Tetsutestsu, and Kuroiro was covered in scratches and bite marks and were very much wishing for this exercise to be over already. Don't lower your guard, if they found our location then they'll likely send more, Kendo told them. We need to move, fast. Too late, Yui said as she looked outside the cave. What? Kendo ran outside to see what Yui was talking about, and when she reached the exit, she froze. Shit. Outside the cave, was an army, of sabers, creeps, griffins, beowulfs, borbatusks, King Taijutsu, and Ursa waiting for them, blocking their path completely. Oh come on. Kosei complained as the rest of the class looked at the army they would be facing. Well, looks like Kamakiri's gonna get his wish, Sen said. Finally, Kamakiri seemed more excited than anything. A real fight. We are going to die, Yui stated in her normal monotone. Not on my watch. Kendo said, everyone get ready. Our goal is to escape. Staying to fight will only make more come to replace them. Cut a path through the monsters, and let's get out. As Kendo gave her orders, onto the cliffside the cave of located in, looking down on them, was a hound. Not yet participating in the fight, just watching.